certainly proved in Europe what you're capable of, haven't you, this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, in true fashion, no one gave us a chance, and that was great, you know, to be an underdog, and we enjoy that. Everyone enjoys that sort of tag with lower expectation, and you know, it was a very tough ask, and to do what we did against the French and obviously the English champions was great. The players really have got to take a lot of credit from that point of view, the way they embraced it, and put their best foot forward, and we produced some great stuff. And you know, that's important to remind ourselves of that sort of stuff when things aren't going as well, and it fuels the belief, and it'd be no different to these guys of significant wins. Always you go back to remind yourself that you are a good team when that confidence just ebbs and flows a little bit. So we'll enjoy the journey. You know, we'd like to have gone at least one more step, and you know, to get into that. But it's a sign of progress, and yeah, we'll one of us will be in that similar situation again next year, and that's exciting.
Cardiff have proved as well, David, as you were saying earlier on, that with your best team out, as you showed against Sale, you could be a match for most teams.
David, I don't know, my mother calls me. I started to look in no, obviously definite. I think if you look at the last game last season, we had a trousers pulled down away by Valentine. It was over 60 points really, but no, we've had 2 games we've been highly competitive, as you rightly said, and 2 games that could have gone either way really. We got over the line just about against Sale, and just didn't quite get that on the weekend. But it's important that we finish strongly really.
So from a fan's point of view, the best of your team against the best of Toby's is going to be quite some statement of rugby, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's always definitely the Ospreys got a wood over us over the last couple of seasons. We know exactly where the threats are. They've got a fantastic pack of forward, more or less the Welsh pack really. So that's always been the challenge for us, getting enough ball to try and play the game that we want to play really. But we get huge respect for them, how much quality they got within the team. Obviously they're well coached. We've got to just try and get out there and give it our best shot really.
We'll go with an 8-0 bench probably.
So what's your assessment of what Di's done at Cardiff this year?
Yeah, brilliant. Obviously, Di and I, pit wits against each other in England, Bath, Wasp, etc. So, bringing someone of that quality into an organisation to give it stability and push on, it's always going to be a difficult ask, because as we joked previously about if he'd have told me what it was like, then would I have come? And he said, well, you could have told me how bad it was before I came back. So from that point of view, coaches, despite the competition, they're the same challenges face us all. So from that point of view, and it's no different on, coaching styles, and you coach the capability of your team. As you said, we make no apologies for, having a good forward pack, and similarly from Di's point of view, if the game's loose and fluid, they're a real handful. If they've shown, forward orientate pack like Sale, for example, like you talk about, it's a contrast in styles, but that's why people love the game being the game, because there's more than one way to win it. So from that point of view, that's what makes it exciting.
After a couple of seasons without the event, for obvious reasons, it's coming together, quite a bit on it still in the last game of the season. Should be good at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's my first real one. We had the 2-day event in our first season, so from that point of view, I'm interested to see what that's like, and as I've just been asked outside, that with the changing backdrop of Wales, that there's going to be a lot of emotion, I think, in this one, because there's a lot of change coming around the corner, and change means people moving on, changes in playing staff, changes in coaching staff, changes in organisations, changes in the backdrop. So yeah, it'll be great to be talking about the grass square and the people on it, for one last time, and seeing where it all goes after that.
So you experienced it with the Scarlets, obviously. What have you made of the event over the years?
It's a great day, isn't it? My experience is you always played second with the Scarlets, and you get here, the ground's buzzing, you warm up on Cardiff Park next door, and you come in, and it's usually second game you get the leftover from the first supporters and the new arrival, and you've got a preview, and that's what these guys will have, I'm sure. A big crowd ready to go and watch the what could be a decider. Scarlets may think differently, they'll try and back themselves in next 2 games on it to compete with both.
Has the season become tiring towards the end, you know, long or short, isn't it?
It's been interesting.
Welcome to Head Coaching, buddy.
What have you learned from this?
I think it's been so ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. The truth is, I think I'll learn a lot of lessons during this off-season, and we'll, as a group, collectively as a Dragons RFC, we'll learn a lot of the lessons, what we've done well, what we could have done differently, and what we could have done better. And we'll have time to reflect when the season's over. We've still got 2 games to look forward to, and we need to make sure we continue to work, because we've got a lot of work to do, and try and be the best we can these next 2 games.
Now, if you have financial parity moving forward, as we're told, will that make a difference to you?
Hopefully. Again, personally I'm learning on that level, so I'm unaware of any differences. We've got what we've got, and I back what we have. I wouldn't compare us. Look at our best 15, it's an international pack as well, like both teams and the other side of me, and we can compete on our day, and we've shown that at home. In all the games we played at home, we showed that. We've got to make sure we're better on the road, and that's a big work on for us going forward.
And the sort of development programme in your region and the players you bring through, you know, it's been pretty impressive over the last few years.
It has. There's a lot of talent in Gwent. There's a lot of rugby clubs in Gwent who pride themselves on producing international players. A lot of historic clubs in Gwent that we need to make sure we tap into as well, because pathway-wise we can be as strong as anyone. But we need to support them with good pros, and you see the announcement of Steph Hughes yesterday. Someone like that in our ranks will only help us develop and win more games.
What about your take on the Scarlet side? Their season has turned around since about December time, really.
Since the game they beat us, you mean?
Well, you said.
Yeah, no, again, as an ex-Scarlet, it's great watching them play. You know, they found their brand of rugby, which is quite historical to the Scarlets. They've been consistent with selections as well this year. They haven't lost too many players, and they've produced a style of rugby that most people enjoy playing, and our challenge is to slow them down and stop that.
Toby, what would need to be in the Championship again next season?
I'll let you know when we get there. I think it'll be a different scenario for sure. If you look at the, you know, we're all nervous. You know, I don't mind speaking on behalf of the boys, or they might, you know, hang me out to dry. But I think we're all a little nervous about what the future is going to look like from a strength and depth point of view and a competition point of view. So there's a balancing act of, you know, be careful what you qualify for. So I think that a big challenge that we've got to get through is looking at what that future is going to look like and how you can still maintain competitiveness. I'm on record after the Sarries game talking about, you know, there's an element of, I think the setup is around that we are probably better designed for cup rugby than we are for league rugby in relation to availability and strength and depth point of view. So we'll embrace whatever happens. You know, I think that the positioning of the European competition in whatever you're in, and you can see how well, you know, the Welsh teams have done in cup competitions in whatever it is. So I think that we'll certainly embrace what we go, and we'll give it our best shot for sure.
Replacing the World Cup, is that going to put pressure on you, Di? Or is it going to be difficult? Sorry, is the placing of the World Cup next year going to make life even more difficult, or will that longer lead-in time give you a bit of help?
It certainly helped with the youngsters with their preparation. It gives us, you know, a longer period for the professional development. You know, more so in conditioning perhaps than the rugby front. But you know, it is what it is. We've planned for it. We all know it's here, so there's no surprises. So you know, we'll deal with it accordingly.
Because the season probably won't start the league season until about 22nd of October. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So do you have to try and put things in place friendly-wise, or what you
Yeah, I think, you know, we look at probably having something where we play each other. Obviously a couple of weeks before that, you know, we'll break the pre-season up, obviously accordingly, you know, to have little bouts of different emphasis throughout pre-season. But you know, we've handled it before, so you know, it's not something that we're not used to, you know, to doing really.
Does that give you a bit more time for, you know, contract situation, re-signing new players, you know, the later start of the new season?
It does, but it's probably not ideal, is it, to you know, to leave signing players until September. You know, that doesn't mean it won't happen, but it certainly can't be a part of your plan. You know, the plan is to try and get as much of our squad nailed down before the end of season. If there is one or two spaces left in our squad, I say that process will continue, but it's certainly not part of the plan to, you know, to leave spaces there and fill them later.
On that day, I think it's 11 re-signed roughly. You've had now, are you near knowing what the numbers are going to be like for next season?
Yeah, we're pretty settled. We made the conscious decision to speak to our group early and let people know if they're staying. Just because we felt as a club we needed a bit of stability and staff and players to take a bit of pressure off them. Obviously things changed along the way with dates and stuff, which did heighten anxiety for the players, but we've done our business now. And, you know, we're unfortunate to lose Ross, but that may open some doors for others.
Toby, how are you looking for Edinburgh this week? Anybody back who wasn't available at the Saturday game? I thought you finished the same.
Justin obviously won't feature. Obviously he came off early in that game. He's undergone foot surgery, which is pretty routine, but obviously that counts him out for the rest of this campaign. Outside of that, I think everybody is healthy. No, Steve Myler's back in training. Just about Matt Prothero's back in training this week. So yeah, pretty much the same with a few people making their early recovery.
When would Tips be able to go back to full training if you're, you know, time wise? How long is that giving up for?
Surgery is normally, you know, a minimum sort of 8 weeks really. So I don't know the actual time frame. I know it's gone where it's pretty routine stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be, you know, I don't think it'll be an issue for Wales going forward and into camp and bits and pieces. It's just a matter of what training basis coming up.
Ingrown toenail or something more sinister?
No, it was a little bit sinister for him to leave the pitch when he did. You know, it's just
Broken bone?
yeah. Well, that's the joy of artificial pitches, you know. So no, you get caught and you get that turf toe and bits and pieces, and yeah, he's when he pulls himself off and says I can't continue, no, it's pretty serious. So look, it's one of those things. But yeah, as I say, a routine thing. I think that we'll get past. It's just the time that will beat us in the season.
For you, Di Flanagan, are you likely to back your players in Cotton Wool this weekend ahead of Judgement Day next weekend?
No, we've got what we've got. We'll expose a couple more youngsters off the bench this week for sure. We also need to protect some youngsters. You know, good experiences are great for youngsters, but too many bad experiences don't help on the journey to become good professionals. We need to protect some as well. But yeah, we are where we are, so it's a game we look forward to, and then it's the next one, then the week after.
And you know, Scarlets may be tempted to do the other thing, and perhaps players in Cotton Wool for that game ahead of the semi-final. Is that something you're aware of or thinking about?
I'm pretty sure derby games are important. If Dwayne was sat there, he'd say the same every region, and I don't think they'll be protecting players when it comes to Judgement Day for sure.
In terms of advantage, how have you seen Will Reid come on this season?
Oh, he's a prime example, isn't he? You know, I feel his performances got better and better. Unfortunately, last week wouldn't help someone like Will Reid, so we need to make sure his next experience with us is a better one. You know, he's someone who most definitely will be a number 110 in the region. He needs to work hard. He needs some good examples around him, and we need to put that in place for him. But as a kid, he's awesome.
Yeah. And you've exposed him quite a lot this week.
We have, yeah. Obviously, we haven't worked with Sam Costello in the last few years, and how we guided his transition. It's worked pretty well. Like Sam's performances now is unreal, and we need to do that. We will. Unfortunately, through certain injuries, Will's had probably a little bit too much exposure in some high-class games this year, but I thought he's handled it very well.
Because it's a position at the senior level that we haven't got too many people knocking on the door.
Yeah, there's very good tens in Wales, man, but I agree the next generation, how they knock down Diggers, Gareth Haskins, Rhys Patchells, Owen Williams off, you know, they've got some work to do, but there is talent there, and we can be excited by it in Welsh rugby.